Hello and welcome to Art Bytes from the Marianna Kistler Beach Museum of Art. My name is Kim Richards and I'm an education assistant at the museum. And I'd like to share with you this painting by Henry Varnum Poor entitled The White Barn. But first, let's learn a little bit about the artist. Poor lived from 1887 to 1970. He was born in Chapman, Kansas, where as a little boy he spent time exploring the world around him. He liked to look at nature and gather the color and details of the insects and the grasses and the streams around the Kansas prairie, which he would often then record in drawings. When he was 9, his family moved to Kansas City. His father was a grain dealer and a banker, and he wanted to be closer to the Kansas City Board of Trade. And just as a point of clarification, you may recognize the name Henry Varnum Poor as the name of the man who eventually founded Standard & Poor's, and you would be correct. However, that's the artist Poor's great uncle. So back to Poor. While living in Kansas City, he did attend a trade school where he learned drafting and carpentry and other industrial arts. And when it was time for his older brother to attend college, Mom and the older brother and Poor and his sister all moved out to California. Eventually, Poor entered Stanford University as an economics major, and in the middle between his sophomore and junior year, he decided that he wanted to follow the art and the creative interests that he had. So he changed his major to art. When he graduated from Stanford with an art degree, he traveled through Europe. He attended the Slade School in London and also the Académie Julian in Paris. While in Europe, he was exposed to the post-impressionist work, and this helped kind of formulate his early ideas and philosophies about how he thought he wanted to create art. And he also learned from one of his teachers there at the Slade School that about balances of expressiveness versus the accuracy of painting your subject. And you'll see this as a kind of a trend or a string through his career. After school, in Europe, he did come back to the United States and teach. He was eventually drafted into World War I and worked as an artist for the military, capturing images. And then after the war, he taught some more, but moved to New York. And this was the 20s. His painting career wasn't really taking off. So he decided to dabble a little bit in pottery and actually became a very well-known ceramicist, creating very functional pieces, plates, bowls, vases that had a lot of beauty and decoration on them, very decorative style. He also built homes. He designed and built his own home, picture of it here, the Crow House. Him and one other man did all of the manual labor. He also designed and built homes for other friends and artists. In the 30s, he participated in New Deal programs, created mini fresco murals, and was a jurist for some of those programs as well. But also in the 30s, he wanted to get back to painting. This is where he truly wanted to be working. And he began to think about those post-impressionist ideas. And he always had this attraction, this personal attachment to his subjects. So when he was working on portraits, a lot of them was of his family. This is his sister here and his nephew in mother and child portrait. When you look at his landscape and his still life, I think you can see where he's a realist painter. We know exactly what he's painting. There's no question about that. But you see that he's not concerned about getting everything exactly accurate, getting all the colors perfect. It's hinting at this expressiveness and while making sure that the subject matter is well known. Poor was a friend of Saint-James, and in a letter to Saint-James was writing a letter to his daughter, and this is what he said about Poor. Henry Varnum Poor is an honest, unsophisticated realist, very modern in his vision, but without any complications of surrealism, expressionism, or any other isms. He has a great gift, and the simple directness of his art has considerable charm. And I think that this captures exactly what Poor has said about himself in many of the books that he's written. He's curious and interested in the different genres that went through the art world, but he never wanted to completely swing through one way or the other. He liked to dabble with them, use them to enhance the realism that he saw in the world. And so you can see some of that in his paintings. And I think as I'd like to explore that a little bit as we look at the White Barn. And I think I really like what Sanzane says here about Poor being a realist, but very modern in his vision. And that's where this exploration shows up as modern. So Poor talks about material and spirit. And his quote is, "The ratio of the parts in the duality is very shifting. The material can be all important, or the spirit, the intention of the creator, can completely swamp the material. And I think the most eloquent works of art are those in which you are always conscious of both." So let's spend some time with the White Barn. And what do you think? What are the things that popped out at you first as you looked at it? Is it perhaps these blocks of color? Is it the few lines that he uses to create the forms in the piece? It takes a minute, but you notice the subject matter right away. And what about this idea of balancing the material and the spirit? Do you think that Poor successfully captured the realism in this piece, but adding the expressiveness that is his as the artist intended, and he's always striving? Do you think he accomplished this eloquence and beauty that he was always striving for, this balance? Thank you for looking at the White Barn today. And join us again for another Art Bite.